Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to tackle a massive challenge. How do you secure every single device that touches your company's data? We're talking everything from corporate laptops to an employee's personal phone.
So let's just kick things off with a big question, and honestly, it's the one that's probably keeping IT and security teams up at night. With people working from everywhere, home, a coffee shop, you name it, on all kinds of different devices, how in the world do you protect your company's most valuable asset? Its data.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we'll dig into the modern security challenge. Then, we'll introduce the command center for all this, Microsoft Intune, and walk through the step-by-step path to protection. We'll also clear up a really common point of confusion, enrolling versus onboarding. And finally, we'll talk about the end goal here, achieving true zero-trust security.
All right, first things first. We have to set the stage. Because to really understand the solution, you've got to appreciate the sheer scale of the problem that every modern company is facing right now, and what's become its single biggest vulnerability.
You know that old idea of a secure office, a nice perimeter, a firewall? Yeah, that's pretty much gone. We're not just accessing company data from inside the building on a company PC anymore. This massive shift has created this incredible diversity of endpoints, which really just means a huge attack surface for cybercriminals. And they're not sitting still. They are actively changing their tactics to hit these weak spots. And while most companies are pretty decent at locking down PCs, it's those mobile devices, the phones, the tablets, that often go completely unmonitored. And that makes them the weakest link in the entire security chain.
So, how do you even begin to get visibility and control over all this chaos, right? How do you bring some kind of order to this sprawling digital mess? Well, that's exactly where Microsoft Intune comes in. It's designed from the ground up to be your central command center for managing and protecting all of these different devices.
And just to be super clear, what we're talking about today is specifically for organizations that plan to enroll devices directly into Intune to fully manage them. And this goes for company-owned devices and for those personal bring-your-own devices, or BYOD, which, let's be honest, are everywhere now.
All right, let's get into the core of the strategy. This isn't about just flipping a switch and calling it a day. We're talking about building a smart, multi-layered defense for all your devices, one step at a time. This is the practical roadmap for how you actually get it done.
But before we dive into the steps, it is absolutely critical that we understand the guiding philosophy behind all of this: zero trust. The idea is actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly powerful. You assume you've already been breached. That means you don't automatically trust any user or any device, even if it's inside your network. You verify every single request, every single time. It's a complete flip from that old castle and moat way of thinking about security.
So think of this like building a house. You gotta have a solid foundation. You start with step one, applying protection policies directly to the data inside your apps. Now this is a total game changer because it works even on personal, unmanaged devices. Then you move to step two, where you formally enroll those devices for much deeper control. Once they're in, step three is all about setting the rules of the house. You know, what does a secure device actually look like? And finally, step four is where the rubber really meets the road. You enforce those rules and block access from any device that doesn't meet your security standards. Period.
Now, once that foundation is solid, you start building up the advanced defenses. Step 5 is where you get proactive. You're not just checking settings, you're actively hardening them, turning off things you don't need, forcing encryption. Step 6 is like hiring a 24/7 security guard. You integrate with Microsoft Defender to constantly watch for threats and automatically block any device that gets compromised. And then there's Step 7, the final crucial layer, protecting the data itself, stopping sensitive info from being copied to a personal Dropbox or emailed out of the company.
Okay, I want to pause here for a second. As you go through this process, you're going to hear two words pop up over and over and over again: enrolling and onboarding. They might sound kind of the same, but trust me, understanding the difference is absolutely critical to getting any of this right.
First up, enrolling. Think of this as officially registering a device with Intune. Once a device is enrolled, you have management control over the entire device, its settings, its configuration, everything. It's like you're giving that device an official corporate ID badge.
Now, onboarding is different. Instead of managing the whole device, onboarding is all about connecting that device to a specific service, like Microsoft Defender. This is what allows the device to start sharing threat information with Defender and getting security policies back from it.
So here's the simple way it all fits together. You enroll a device into Intune first. That's what gives you the control. Then you use Intune to onboard that same device to powerful security services like Microsoft Defender.
So, enrollment is the foundation that gives you management, and onboarding connects that managed device to specialized tools.
So, going through these 7 steps, it's not just about adding a bunch of new security tools and checking some boxes. You are fundamentally building a tough, resilient security posture that can actually handle the way we all work today. So, what's the actual payoff? What do you get for all this?
Well, the results are huge, and they're tangible. You go from having massive blind spots to having this crystal clear visibility into every single endpoint. You can finally set a security baseline and actually enforce it. Access isn't just a simple yes or no anymore. It becomes a smart, granular decision based on the real-time health of a device. And maybe best of all, you can automate your response to threats, blocking a risky device before it can do any real damage.
And you know, it all comes back to this one central truth, right from Microsoft's own guidance. In this new hybrid world, the endpoint, that laptop, that phone, that tablet, it is the new perimeter. And if you don't secure it properly, your entire security strategy is basically built on a foundation of sand.
And that really leaves us with one final thought. We've just laid out the blueprint for a true modern security fortress, one that's layered, intelligent, and strong. So now you've got to ask yourself, is your organization's current strategy a fortress, or is it just a fence that you're kind of hoping nobody tries to climb over?